Welcome back to another episode, Marks of a Man podcast channel. Today we're going to be having a conversation with Sam Stewart with a D of Dark Iron Society. Welcome, Sam.
Thank you so much. Thank you for
Yeah,
having
buddy.
me.
Yeah, glad to do it, man. So Sam lives here in Cartersville. We're based out of Cartersville. So we sort of want to have a conversation about him. And we're going to learn more about him and his life. But you're into powerlifting. So the majority of our conversation might center on the sport of powerlifting and your experience.
Yes, sir.
So for the listeners, why don't you sort of give them an opportunity? You're on some social platforms like you got TikTok, Instagram. Where can they find you, connect with you?
I'm on Facebook mainly, Instagram a little bit, and TikTok, of course. But Facebook is mainly where you can reach me at.
Yeah, what's your handle there on Facebook?
Facebook, it's just Sam Stewart, Steward. Instagram, Sam_. Same as the last name, but it's 94, and it's the same for TikTok. Excuse me.
Right on. And what about your Dark Iron Society? Do you have a handle on your powerlifting channel or no?
All of my videos, if you look, they're all going to be on the same platforms.
Okay.
Dark Iron Society is owned by Joe. He owns it, powerlifter as well, and so
Is that gym based here in Cartersville
Yes,
as
sir.
well? Okay.
we're over by Waffle House on 113. You can kind of miss us, but we're in the back. We're kind of ducked off.
Highway 113 behind the Waffle House and that sort of commercial strip center back
Yes,
there in
sir.
the corner. All right, Dark Iron Society, you can check it out. So, man, just let's go ahead and get in your life story, man. Like, where were you born and raised? Just take us through it.
Yes, sir. I was born and raised in Cartersville, Georgia, by Marilyn Benham and Albert Stewart. Pretty much, I had a kind of a rocky upstart. Troubled kid, disrespectful, not listening to authority.
Is that when you were 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9?
I wish it was,
Yeah.
but it wasn't. It was like around 10 or 11.
Okay.
Very disrespectful.
So, what did your parents do before you get to 10 years old? You're born here were you born in Cartersville
Yes, sir.
itself? And your parents both lived here? And what was your home setting as you were, before you got to 10 years old? What was your background in your family?
Very military oriented. Neither one of my parents served, but I come from a military family. My mom instilled yes, sir, no, ma'am. And I had manners, but it sounds bad to say out loud now. Just because I had manners, I still believe like I didn't have to respect you at a young age.
Did you have brothers and sisters?
Yes, a boatload of those.
How many siblings?
So, real quick, my dad had a total of 30 kids.
3-0.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
3-0.
3-0. Okay.
Yes.
How many different women?
30.
Okay.
Yes. I know that sounds bad saying out loud, but
Okay.
yes. I'm close to a few of my siblings. Not all of them as much as I wish, but I'm still learning to get to use.
Well, there's quite a age gap. If you have 30 siblings, right? Where do you sort of fall in order of the ages of your siblings?
So a few of us are in our 30s, some are in their 40s. There's maybe 2 in their 50s. The youngest sibling is 14 years old.
Okay.
So he is literally at the bottom
Right.
of the age gap.
So you were in the middle.
Yes, sir.
So when you were 7, 8, 9 years old and you were beginning to be disrespectful and so forth, you were some of the older siblings and younger siblings living in the same home with you at the time, or what was your setting?
Believe it or not, I didn't find out about my siblings until I was 14.
Okay.
Like I knew one, actually. Let me take that back. I knew about my older sister, but I didn't know I had that many siblings until my dad stepped out on my mom.
Okay.
And I got a phone call saying, "Hey, I'm your sister." I didn't believe it until she started naming off my aunt, my uncles, and I was just like, wow.
Yeah.
So that's when the trouble started again for me.
Gotcha.
I had a lot of resentment towards my dad for doing that. I had so much anger. I played sports, but that didn't help. The anger was still there.
So when you were running around Cartersville at 10, 11, 12 years old, what is sort of like what you're alluding to, your disrespect? what did that look like? Were you just being a punk kid, breaking in the law, tearing stuff up, or what was your behavior like?
Not that far, thank God. It was, if I would have saw somebody who I felt like was disrespectful and looking, I had a smart mouth. Thankfully, I met somebody in high school, a coach, RIP to Jeff Cave, great guy, sat me down, said, you got potential to do something. I'm gonna give you two choices. I can either write you up or you join the wrestling team.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't want to wrestle. That stigma of men don't do that. We play football. Said, come to one practice. If you like it, cool. If you don't, I understand. And I fell in love with it. It's saved my life. So did powerlifting.
Yeah.
And I stopped hating the world and started putting that focus into wrestling.
How old were you when the coach, Jeff, asked you to come out? Were you a freshman, sophomore? Freshman.
Yes, sir.
That was here at Cartersville?
Yes, sir.
Cool.
And he was like, you're going to do good in this sport. And I did. I loved it. Stuck with weightlifting and wrestling. At the time, it was weightlifting in high school. So powerlifting didn't come until sophomore year.
Yeah.
And then I just was hooked.
Yeah. So at your wrestling experience, did you ever have weightlifting as a part of your conditioning and or strength programming in your freshman year?
Yes, sir. We would have weights first, then wrestling. And I learned a lot more discipline. I learned respect. I learned how to carry myself. I learned how to walk into a room and greet a person, like not sitting down, standing up and shaking a hand, looking at another man, making eye contact. And I took that into life, and it's still a part of me to this day. I'm 31 years old. So
was Jeff primarily the guy in your life that taught you those things about making eye contact, good handshakes, discipline?
That came with the way I saw him carry himself. So he pretty much taught that to all of us, but it came step by step, like as in, he had a famous quote that I remember is, every man can do something if he puts his mind to it. Every weak man can sit there and make excuses. Which one are you going to be?
Yeah. Is he still alive?
No, sir.
Yeah, he passed away?
Passed away. His daughter shared a post not too long ago, and it was very sad because all the memories of him flooded back, and I know it was tough on her, but he made an impact on a lot of wrestlers.
I was just about to say that comment. Like, if he made an impact on you,
he
think about the impact on all the other young men that he has as well.
I'll never forget the day walking into high school, and it was like a ghost town. And I'm crying. We're all crying because he wasn't a coach to most of us men.
Yeah.
He was a father figure.
Yeah, right on. That's good.
And he didn't look at us like students.
Yeah.
He didn't treat us any different. Everybody got treated the same.
Yeah, that's good. Listen, why don't we hit pause on the powerlifting wrestling conversation? And this is the Marks of a Man podcast channel, right? Where we want to observe the marks of men that, one, handle themselves appropriately, two, demonstrate godly characteristics. And I think it's pretty cool that you're here talking about Coach Jeff and how his marks, his life affected you. Here we are, 25 years later?
Yes, sir.
You're not quite 40. How old are you?
I'm 31.
Yeah, so it hasn't been quite that long, but 15, 16 years since you were that age, and his marks, right? So why don't you see if you can give, maybe not necessarily a eulogy, but why don't you speak a little bit more about this man, Jeff, and some of his characteristics? Do you remember? Can you speak on that, Sam? Like, tell me how he carried himself and how that affected you, as you just said about handshake and eyes. But what else do you remember about him?
That he was a very loving and caring person. He was a great father. He was a great teacher. He was a great mentor. Yes, you would look at him and think, why is he this way? But I look at it as the way that he was raised as a person, meaning he taught us so much love. The same love he gave his kids, he gave to us.
Yeah.
And I strived every time I met him to be like that in a way. But then I remembered him always saying, just because you see what another man does doesn't mean you can walk in his shoes.
Yeah.
And that meant a lot to me. So as older I've gotten, I've learned so many life lessons from my childhood in a good way and the bad way, what to do and what not to do.
Yeah, that's right. And like I was a little bit of a pitch here on the channel for Marks of a Man podcast. It's a production of Men Build Men, the larger, more fatherly organization that produces this podcast, and the video cast is Men Build Men. and we're based out of Cartersville, Georgia here. This is actually, we're at the headquarters in the studio here, and just talking about how one man's life can literally build and affect and change the trajectory of another man's life. And I'm super thankful that, Jeff did that in your life when you were that age. And so if you're by chance listening and you don't have a father figure and you'd like to be part of an organization, you have an open invitation here at Men Build Men to join us. We got once a month gatherings. You can go to the web channel, you can go to the website, www.menbuildmen.com, find more about the organization. You can find it all on the social channels that the producers, producing, put the links and information down below. But let's get back to the whole wrestling thing. I wanted to sort of make a smart aleck comment that you didn't think that wrestling was a man's sport, but I was just about to ask you, bro, like what do you think about the difference in wrestling conditioning versus football conditioning?
So I'm glad you brought that up. So, okay, I was a kicker and a punter.
Right.
So I was a lazy, I can't say the word, but you know the word.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, I was a lazy, I wanted to do something to get out of the house. So I said, you know what is the laziest sport a football player can do? My buddy said water boy. I said, no. My other buddy said kicker and punter. Well, prior to that, I had soccer experience. So I'm 215 pounds as a kicker and punter.
Right.
That's rare at that time.
Right.
I could kick and punt, but I didn't like it. So I quit. I know you're not supposed to quit what you start. And then that's how the wrestling came about. And that conditioning is brutal.
Yeah. Yeah.
I still do it to this day.
Right on.
And it is still brutal. I have bruises. I have bruises that I think I get still to this day. I'm 31.
Yeah.
That's young, but my body's not.
Yeah.
It hurts.
So you had a good positive experience with Coach Jeff in wrestling, and then you alluded to that you were doing a little bit of weight lifting, and that the power lifting didn't start until your sophomore year. Why don't you describe a little bit for the listening audience what you mean by the differentiation of weightlifting versus powerlifting? What if some of these people listening or viewing this channel have no idea what you're talking about?
So within weightlifting, you have what they call a snatch, front squat, overhead. In powerlifting, we have deadlifts. We use kg weights, which is kilograms. They use bumper plates. So when I made the transition to it, I was like, I want to see what the big difference is for me. And I fell in love with it. Now, I'm not hating on anybody that does weightlifting because that is the most brutal sport you can do. These men and women go to war with each other. I did my first national powerlifting meet straight out of high school at 19 years old.
Okay. And what were the disciplines in the competition for the powerlifters?
So to elaborate on that is your training is hard. A lot. There's a lot of chain work, band work, weight classes, which there's weight classes in weightlifting. I haven't been in that sport in years, but I can tell you from my experience in this one, it will break you mentally and physically.
Weightlifting or powerlifting?
Powerlifting will.
Yeah. Well, what I was asking you is on the powerlifting event, you said you competed when you were 19.
Yes.
What were the 3 events?
Oh, yes. Sorry. Bench, squat, and deadlift.
Gotcha.
And you have 3 attempts on all of those.
Okay.
So that's 9 lifts total.
And how do you win the event? Is it a combined score of all the lifts that's lifted, or do you have the best lift out of one? Tell the listeners how it works.
So you have 3 attempts. You have your opener, your middle, and your closer. So if your closer is good for all 3 lifts, they will total that up. So you can have a 1,500 total.
Yep.
And somebody can have a 1,600 total. So that person who has a 1,600 total could possibly beat you, but if your dot system is higher, then you win. So 9 times out of 10, just because you have the best lift, that other guy can still beat you by dots.
So when you competed at 19 on this powerlifting thing, at that point, were you more interested in powerlifting than wrestling? Did you not have a desire to wrestle, beyond 19?
I was trying to balance both. So I wrestled in college. I went off to West Florida to wrestle, and I tried to stick with it. And I had to let powerlifting go for those 4 years to focus. Once I got out of college, I just didn't stop. I just kept powerlifting.
Yeah.
Right now we're in prep for another meet coming up.
Okay.
So it's a lot of joint pain, but I enjoy it.
We'll try to get there when the current, but go back to, so you left Cartersville?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Walk me through a little bit more between you 10 and 11, sort of disrespectful, being a punk kid, to, okay, now I'm fixing to grad. Like, what are all those more formative years from, like, let's say 18 were you 18 when you graduated?
Yes.
Okay. Those 10, 7, 8, 9 years right there, what changed in you? Were you still a punk?
I had punk mentalities. I had a chip on my shoulder when I hit high school, as every young man does. I thought the world owed me so much. But like going back to what you were asking about Coach K, that was the one person who humbled me. It was like, you can run middle school, that's fine. But once you get to high school, there's always going to be somebody bigger than you, smarter than you, and better than you.
Yeah.
And to this day, I take that in life. When I go to work, I have to think, okay, there's always going to be somebody bigger than you and better than you, but how can you outsmart them? I have a favorite quote. My older brother, he said, this is chess, not checkers. You work smarter so that you can have a better future and a better life. You don't work all over the place. So that's what I took into that.
Okay. So you graduated high school and you said you got you wrestled at West Florida. Is that correct?
Yeah, University of West Florida.
University of West Florida. And what was your experience in those 4 years, man? Were you completely off by your own? Like, did your mother said, hey, see you later? Was she still in your life at that point when you moved to West Florida?
Yes, sir. My mom was my biggest cheerleader.
Gotcha.
I was homesick. I'll be honest. Once you go off to college, I don't know if you played sports or went to college. That's a different feel. But I wanted to get out of Cartersville. I wanted to get as far away from a town where I felt like there were so many temptations. And I had nice offers from other schools.
Okay.
But I wanted to go somewhere where I could build my own legacy. And I felt like West Florida was the place for me to go.
And what was your experience during those 4 years? Did you have a good group of people? Did you find another older man in your life that helped you grow up and mature? Were you just making bad decisions? Were you making good decisions?
My freshman year was a bad decision. When I got that call to come up to the dean's office and said, look, you're almost about to get kicked out of here. And I didn't have a role model my freshman year.
Yeah.
I had to navigate in those deep waters by myself.
Was that part of because you just didn't have the habits, or was that part when a lot of us get out and you experience the freedom and flexibility to make your own choices, right? And you just simply just didn't manage your time and your resources and your decisions well? Is that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I was partying. I'll be honest. I was doing things I shouldn't have been doing. I shouldn't have been around the crowd, but I had heard that this dean was very strict, like did not give second chances, didn't even believe in a first chance.
Right.
But for some reason, I walk in there and she gave me the opportunity. I'm going to give you the best gift I've never given anybody. I'm going to give you one more chance. Do not screw up. And when I heard that, I was like, okay, I cannot mess this opportunity up.
Yeah. Did you feel like that was so the workings of God, or how did you frame up? Hey, well, if this dean has this reputation of not being gracious, or merciful, and all of a sudden you're the recipient of that. What was your thought process there, man?
I thought it was God saying, okay, you have an opportunity that at that time, there was a lot of kids that I came up with in high school that had offers and they messed it up. And I looked at it, this is God telling me, okay, they messed up their opportunity. You're not about to mess up yours. And I didn't hang out with my friends. If I did, it was a wrestling team. I would study, go back to my dorm room, and you wouldn't see me. And I learned just be a ghost in college, but be present in the moment.
Did you have any faith in your life to that point, man? Like, where were you at with your belief in God? Did you believe God exists? Did you attend churches? Like, walk me through a little bit up until that point when you met with the dean.
I got baptized when I was 18 years old. I was going with the family to church. Neil Harper, they asked me, what do you want for your birthday? And I was, believe it or not, we were leaving McDonald's. I was in the back seat, and I said, I want to get baptized. I'd never been baptized. And they pulled the car over and started crying. They were like, that's what you want for your birthday? And I said, yes, sir. I want to be baptized because I kept hearing, if you're not baptized, your soul goes to hell. And I didn't want that. And I got baptized. And there are days, I'm not going to lie, where in my teenage years that I would, even my 20s, I would lose faith if things didn't go the right way. I'm like, why is God doing this? But a good friend of mine who said, God doesn't give his toughest battles to his weakest soldiers. And I listen to that in my head every day as I've gotten older. There are some days where I'm like, I can't believe, God is doing this. But then I got to remember there's a reason behind why he's doing this. There's a reason why. The same with back to the question, but the dean.
Yeah.
There's a reason that God put that in her head or in her heart to say, you have another opportunity. Don't mess this up.
So you didn't. So after you walked out of the dean's office, you hunkered down on your studies, or did you simply choose to begin to shed or eliminate some bad decisions and some bad crowds?
I did both. I sat down. Before I studied, I started thinking, okay, this person's not right for me.
Yeah.
This person is kind of okay, but I'm going to put a question mark on them. This person is not there for me. So my freshman year, I had one friend. It was my roommate. And we both helped each other. We helped each other accountable. To this day, he's still a good friend of mine. If I felt like I was slipping, he'd be like, hey, you need to get back on this path. And once the season started, that's when I really hunkered down because I was on a scholarship for it. And
Academic or athletic scholarship?
athletic.
Gotcha.
So that probation period is
Oh,
tough.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
And being at a Division I school, you get 3 strikes, that's it. And then they could tell a dean. So it was tough.
All right. So you squared up your life. That was your freshman year in college, you said?
Yes, sir.
So what happened your sophomore year? What began to change in your sophomore year?
Sophomore year, I got a lot more hunkered down more. I didn't hang out with anybody. I just kept to myself, just like now. Like I don't really talk to anybody that much. Like I go home, I go to work, go to the gym. That's pretty much it.
Okay. So, but you were still on the wrestling team.
Yes.
And at this point, you said you were not powerlifting at this point because you had taken a break because you were focused on wrestling.
Yes.
Correct?
But I was still training like a power lifter. And even after wrestling practice, I would still go to the gym,
Okay.
train like a power lifter. And I was like thinking in my head, why? And then junior and senior year, I told my mom, I was like, I think I want to be done with wrestling.
Okay.
I want to focus more actually on powerlifting. And she said, okay. So I left college and never looked back and been competing. Oh, wow. It's been a minute. I'd have to go back and look, but it's been a.
Yeah. Well, when you left, how, 20, 21 years
Yes,
old?
sir.
So the last 10 years, man, like when you left college, did you go right into the workforce? What did you do for profession and employment, man?
I got certified as a personal trainer.
Okay.
And I've been doing that ever since. I mean, I would work at a bar on the weekends. But
Were you like bartending or were you bouncing?
I was bouncing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anybody wanted me making
Yeah.
drinks.
Right on.
I don't think that'd be a good
Right on.
combination at all.
So what about your faith? When you got baptized in high school, what percentage or what impact has faith from your college days, the last 10 years, man?
I haven't been to church since I lost my mom.
Okay. When she died?
My mom, it has been a year, to be 2 this year.
I got you.
My faith with God is very different, not in a bad way. I read my Bible. I pray before. I think me and you had talked, like the last time I went to a church, I got judged because I have tattoos.
Yeah.
And it kind of broke my heart because as Christians, I thought we were not taught to judge unless they want to be judged. And it just bothered me, and I haven't been to a church since.
Okay, right on, man. Cool. So you've been personal trainer the last 10 years.
Yes, sir.
When you left out, and what's been your experience with, you obviously said you just got back into powerlifting once you quit the wrestling team, right?
Yes.
And personal training. Like, why did you choose to get more focused back into powerlifting?
So at the time, powerlifting was slowly growing at one point. I mean, it's been growing for years. It's been around since the 80s.
Right.
But once I saw how social media kind of opened the doors for us more, I was just hooked.
Yeah.
I was competing not every weekend, but anytime I could, I was at a powerlifting meet.
Right on. So I was telling you before we began the conversation on the record that off the record, that analytics say that some of the majority of the listeners here are outside the continental United States of America. So if you're a listener, part of me wanting to have this conversation with Sam is to talk about the sport, discipline, opportunity to be a part of powerlifting. What would you say to the listeners that or have a might interest on powerlifting? Like, how do they get involved? Like, are there any sources out there on the World Wide Web available to them? Do you follow any good social media channels where they can find good content, good programming? Talk to them a little bit.
So you brought up something that's really a big pinpoint. And one point there was no way, I mean, there was, but there wasn't. So you wouldn't know where our powerlifting meet was in like '09 in the 80s. Social media gave us that platform. So your best bet is to go to a powerlifting gym. And what I mean by that is look it up. We have one here. Meet with go to the gym, try all 3 lifts, see how you like it. Look it up online. Get it's like having an ID where you can go compete in. Okay. So, for example, there's USA, there's USPC, there's WBC, there's American Powerlifting Union in Tennessee. There's so many ways. So you can actually look it up, find a meet that you're comfortable with, you and a friend, and go and do it. There's a lot of ways to find powerlifting.
Do a lot of the meets, do they charge fees or entrance fees to actually compete to get in there?
Yes, sir, they do. So for example, the meet I'm with, you go onto AmericanPowerliftingUnion.com and you find your weight class. You find if you want to do full power, and it's $150, and that pays for everything, and you get a shirt to compete in. So it is an all-day meet. So your meet is Saturday, your weigh-ins are Friday, and you find out where you weigh in. Or you can find out where you weigh in before the meet, excuse me.
So there's different classes of weight?
Different classes of weight, age bracket. So I'm 31, so I'm in the Submasters.
Okay.
Also, I compete in 2 different weight classes, the 139 kg, which accumulates to 308, and then the 124 weight class, which is the 275.
275 and above or 275 and below?
It can be both. You can be under,
okay,
or you can have to be at 275.
Okay. And for the listeners that might not be familiar, we're talking again about 3 disciplines. We're talking about bench press.
Yes, sir.
We're talking about squat, and we're talking about deadlift.
Yes, sir.
Right? And so now we're going to some more technical questions. On the bench lift itself, a simple press is what? Take it off the rack under your own power?
Yes, sir.
Or is there any distance between the grip?
So whatever grip you're comfortable with. So let's say, for example, I would come to you and say, hey, look, I need to count off on 3. Then I would hold it in the air. The judges would say start.
Okay.
So start is to my chest.
Yep.
I hold it to my chest. Then they say press. I push it. Then they say rack. So they're giving you the command.
Yeah. And what is the judges? Is it just for myself and understanding, is it a 1 count pause that the judge is supposed to say push?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So it's like it feels longer, but it's not. As soon as you get it and they see it's at your chest, then they say press. So it feels like a 3-second pause.
Yeah.
But it's so quick.
Yeah. Is there any kind of, hey, if your butt comes off the bench, if your shoulders try to move, is any of that? You just basically,
yes, you're done.
Yeah.
So to stay in a powerlifting meet, you start off, the first thing we do is we have squats. If you miss all 3 of your squats, we call it bombing out. You're done. You leave the meet. There's no sticking around. That happened to me in December where I missed all 3 of my squats, and they let me stay, and I barely hit my bench press, but I hit all my deadlifts.
All right, before we get into the squat, let's finish the conversation on the bench. So you obviously hold, bring it down, press, rack, and then that completes the bench press.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now on the squat itself, walk the listeners through how that looks like. Like you have to walk onto the squat rack, take it on your back, stand up on your own strength, or can a spotter help you get it off?
So we have what we call a monolift. And for the listeners that do not know what that is, it's a squat rack with hooks. Once you pick it up, they have a machine, a lever that pulls those hooks for you, and you start.
Gotcha.
And the judges tell you start, and you come up on your own command. You have a spotter behind you and 2 spotters.
So unlike the bench press, squat, the depth of the squat is not controlled by the judge.
Oh, it's controlled by you, but you have to get parallel to come back up.
Okay.
If your foot slightly comes up, that's a red light. So we have 3 lights. If there are 3 reds, it's not good. If it's 2 whites and a red, something happened in that moment, and you need to go find out by the judges.
Are we wearing heeled shoes or elevated platform shoes under this discipline?
So You can wear elevated shoes like the Nike squat shoes, or you can do flat-footed shoes. I prefer the shoes that look like socks.
Okay.
But you have to have shoes on your feet.
You cannot do it barefoot.
You cannot do it barefooted. They will tell you to turn around.
Okay. So under the squat, once like I said, rack, go down, meet parallel, rise up,
Yeah, and then they'll tell
full
you-
extension.
Yes, sir. And then they'll tell you, come here, meaning bring the weight back, and they'll get the hooks, and you can find out your results. Sometimes the lights will be in the corner or it'll be in front of you.
So that's the first event.
That's the first one.
Is the bench press the second?
The bench press is the second, and then deadlifts is last.
Okay. You want to walk us through a little bit about the technique of the deadlift?
So your technique is all about what you're comfortable with. There's people that do conventional, and there's sumo, a good reverse grip, over grip. I'm an over-under person.
So the regulations allow you to choose
Yes.
your own grip.
Yes, some people have a wide grip. Some people have a close grip when they deadlift. I don't. Mine is just making sure that my knees are behind my. My elbow is behind my knees, and I can pull the weight.
All right. This non-elevate is basically floor to floor, right?
Yes, sir.
So and then walk us through, like the judge comes over and did they command you to sort of commence the lift, or when you put your hand on the moment that you move the bar that begins the lift?
So you have a timer, and it's up to you. So since you walk up to the bar, you find your rhythm, you find your placement. Once you get the weight up, the judge's hand will go down, and they'll have you put the weight down. You cannot slam it. You cannot drop it. It's going to slam either way, but it has to be a respectful slam, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And then
Can't simply just let go of it.
no,
Has to be on sort of back under control.
if you drop it, that's a red light, and that's a point taken away.
Okay. And so that's sort of, and once you complete, you said earlier in the conversation, you get 3 lifts of
Yes, sir.
each lift, correct?
sir.
And again, is that let's just say hypothetically you lift 100 kilograms, you have the choice then to try to increase
Yes, sir.
on your second lift and on your third lift, right?
Yes. So once you get done, let's say you have a coach, you don't go to the table. You don't want to get in your own head. So it's best to have a coach go tell the judges, hey, I just moved 100 kilograms. I want to go up.
Okay.
Your coach will tell them, you don't know what you're doing. All you know is you need to move that weight. And that's the best thing about powerlifting. Now, if you do it yourself, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get in your own way. I've seen it happen at meets. I've been there. I have an athlete that is in their head right now, but I have to tell them, look, your job is to lift. My job is to stress.
Right.
And if you have a good communication like that, you're good.
What about if you were listening, or speaking to some lifters that maybe a little bit younger, juvenile lifters? What specific advice or coaching would you give the listeners to improve any one of the 3 disciplines, like bench, squat, power? What would you say? Or what are some things that you've learned that have helped you improve?
This is one thing that's helped me, and it goes back to off camera what we said. Video yourself. Watch yourself. See what you did wrong. If you had a good lift last week on that same, and this week you're not, it could also have something to do with fatigued. You can have the best lift, and that's the thing about powerlifting is focus on the reps.
Yeah.
Focus on your placement. That has a lot to do with it. Don't get in your head. Just because you want to ego lift, you can get injured doing that.
Yep.
I've been injured doing that. We get in our heads about it. And so what I would say is video yourself. You don't have to post it. It's for you. Let it be your journal. Sit back and say, okay, last week's placement was great. This week's was 50%. Video yourself.
Right.
Study. Ask your friends what they think. Ask people in the gym, ask questions. Knowledge is key. Pick somebody's brain. I had to do it. Even in life, learn from somebody.
Yeah.
And you'll get better.
What are some of the comments or techniques or improvements that you've seen in your own life that you would tell the listeners about nutrition, hydration, cardiovascular conditioning? How are some of those things helpful to them if they want to succeed in powerlifting events?
Eat. Your cardio has to be perfect because when you're lifting, for example, this is my theory. Cardio has a lot to do with deadlifts and squats. And And what was the other question? I'm sorry.
I was just saying about nutrition. I know that a little bit about, how would you tell people to eat and drink and sleep? I mean, what
Get
do
your
you?
8 hours of sleep.
Yeah,
Get your meals in. Train smart as well, and everything will fall in place. I mean, you're gonna have days where if you only have 6 hours of sleep, 9 times out of 10 you're not gonna have the best workout. I am a testament to that.
yeah,
I've had 4 hours of sleep and go into the gym for some reason and have the great lift, and then have 8 hours, which I'm saying don't do. If anybody is listening, do not do what I do. Do what you do. Everybody's different.
good.
Have your water, and stay hydrated.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and I think like life, we tend to overcomplicate things. It's pretty simple. Like if you are what you eat, you need to drink water, you need to sleep, right?
yes, sir.
You don't need to be staying out all night partying and thinking that you're going to perform well, whether it's powerlifting or at your profession or at your work.
A lot of people think that, oh, I can drink tonight and party and I'll be fine on Monday. And it has a lot to do with the effects of what you said about nutrition. Is, okay, for example, if you've been eating clean for 6 weeks, right? And then all of a sudden you decide to have one drink, your body is going to take that as, oh, this is a substance right here. This is carbs. This is calories. You're going to feel bloated. So to the listeners, do not think that alcohol is going to affect your gains. It's going to affect them tremendously. Stay away from alcohol. Stay away from the bad carbs. And if your coach says it, hey, you can have it, that's fine. But be careful and don't binge eat. Like you said, in life, you're in your own way, excuse me. Stay out of your way. Follow what your coach says or follow what somebody tells you.
So sort of wrapping this thing up, man, like what do you feel like the one or two things in summary that you would tell some of these listeners about powerlifting and life?
They go hand in hand.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is here's a great example. I can have a bad day and think going into the gym will help. It won't. The weights, it sounds crazy. The weights know if you're having a bad day. So if somebody made you mad and you think you're going to go into the gym, you're going to be more focused on what that conversation that we had versus focusing on being in the gym. So what I tell people is go into the gym same way you go into life, with a clear head. Stay focused, have God on your side. I'm 31 years old. I am not even supposed to be here. And I know you said we're wrapping this up, but do you mind if I share a story?
Go, dude.
So when I was in the 7th grade, I've had 2 near-death experiences. In the 7th grade, I had a heart attack. Not even supposed to be here. The doctors told my mom that he will not live past 18. I had to wear a heart monitor half of my life. That also is the reason why I was so troubled, because I felt like I am being punished for something I should not be doing or had done. This is God punishing me. In the 7th grade, how many 7th graders should think like that? That's what went through my mind. They said anything will excite me could send me to the hospital. That's when I met Coach Cave. But beforehand, I hit my head underwater. And this is the crazy thing. Here's a cold chill for you, for the listeners. Do you mind if I tell this part?
Go.
So I was born September 27th. Which number is that in months? Number 9, correct?
The 27th?
No,
Yeah.
September is 9. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. I was born 1994. Okay. This was in 2009. Okay. I died for 9 minutes. My room number was 27. I had 4 doctors every 9 seconds coming in there and checking on me. You see that pattern there? That scared me so bad to the point where when they told me all those numbers and how they all lined up, I was born 1994. September is number 9. The year was 2009. I died for 9 minutes. My room number was 2794. I'm not even supposed to be here, but I'm 31 years old by the grace of God. He gave me more opportunities than you're supposed to get. So when I tell people, live your life, if God has given you an opportunity to do something, he is steering you in the right direction. Never go off your path because of what somebody else is doing. And I'm a testament of that.
All right. What do you think for if you were speaking to the listeners about how is the path to God, we want to encourage them, say not to get on, how do they get on the path?
Every path is different, of course. I would say surround yourself with people that want to see you do good.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first step. The second step is to have a good faith with God. And I'm not saying turn your life around tomorrow, but it's steps to being good in your own way. And there's some days where I will question my faith, and then there's other days where I have to go back on that path. So we all stir away,
Yeah.
but we always find our way back home.
Well, right on. I appreciate you answering my questions sincerely
Yes, sir.
and transparently. I think if you're any listeners that would like to speak more about how to find it, you can reach out to me and the channel and or Men Build Men. I'm going to give Sam an opportunity to reconnect and recommunicate his social media sites and,
Yes, sir.
and handles, right? But in all sincerity, if you want to find more about that question, we as a platform, we as a podcast would love to speak to you more about it. We do believe in God. We do believe that there is a pathway to God. You know, the scriptures say in John 14:6 that Jesus himself said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. And no one comes to God the Father except through me, Jesus. So that's what the Bible says. But if you have more interest, we'd love to converse with you, and you can reach out to us. So give some of the listeners that might still be here at the end of the conversation that weren't at the beginning, tell them how to find you.
Yes, sir.
Give it your handle on
Yes, sir.
Facebook.
If you guys are trying to find me, you can find me on Facebook at Sam Stewart, STEWARD. My name on Instagram is the same thing. It's Sam Stewart _ STEWARD 94. I'm on Instagram, and my TikTok is connected to my Instagram.
Good.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, cool. We've enjoyed it speaking to you, man. Appreciate you taking time to tell us a little bit about your life and powerlifting. Look
Yes,
forward
sir.
to being in the gym maybe with you.
Of course,
You
I
know-
saw the gym in there. I saw if you have the right amount of weight. So yes,
Yeah,
that is
right on.
perfect. Yes.
Well, I got the weight around for me. I'm not sure I've got the weight. We have enough weight for you.
I think I saw a couple of 45s in there, so
All
we'll
right,
be good.
all right,
I don't know how many 45s you got in there,
Do
but
you want to brag on yourself? You want to tell everybody about your list before we sort of conclude?
yeah.
What's some of your PRs, bro?
my PRs, the most I've hit on bench is 475, a 620 squat, and a 585 deadlift almost.
Right on.
I've got a meet coming up, and I have to close my eyes and think about it. I will be in Gulf Shores. I think I'm pronouncing it right.
Yeah.
Everybody says it's
Go sure. Yeah. whatever.
I say
yeah.
golf.
Yeah.
And I have nationals in July.
What are your goals? What are the targets that you'd like to lift?
Oh, I would love to get a 500-pound bench. I would love to get a 650 squat and a 600-pound deadlift. But
Right on.
we have legs tomorrow. And I was excited to be on the podcast, so
Yeah.
I did not go to the gym today.
Yeah. Cool.
So yes, we're focusing on some meets this year, and I want to get my pro card eventually. That's the goal.
Well, I know that when we were introduced, and the Men Build Man follows your channel, I see that you put a lot of content on health and nutrition and eating.
Yes.
And I appreciate your desire and willingness to put that out there. So that sort of keeps me in check. Like, hey, if Sam's tracking his macros and eating fish and healthy fats, it has an effect on me.
Yes.
And I think it's important to sort of wrap it up and conclude that it is our behavior that has effect. Coach Jeff, I just simply have been thinking a lot about him, and like, man, I would have liked to have met that guy.
Yes, sir.
And it's sort of an encouragement for both me and you that we do have the opportunity to affect people. And here's the thing, like, that's why we named the organization Men Build Men,
And
because we
one more
believe
thing.
that.
Sorry.
Yeah, go
his
ahead, dude.
son is in Cartersville. His son is Joey Cave.
Right on.
He works at State Farm over by Six's Tavern right across from it. So if you ever get a chance, meeting him is like meeting his dad.
That's good.
So I love how he is his father, but he is himself. He walks the path of both.
He said he's an insurance salesman.
Yes, sir.
But tell the listeners again.
His name is Joey Cave, or he might go by Joe Cave, whichever one. But he is a State Farm
State Farm
insurance salesman.
here in Cartersville.
Georgia.
Do you know the name of his insurance agency?
No, sir.
Take a
but-
look him up.
Yes, sir. But he's a great guy. So like I said, I love him like a brother, and I would never send you guys to anybody
Yeah.
who is not like that.
All right. That's good, man. Well, we appreciate you being here, brother.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Good deal.